Right. So we'll probably have more people popping in as we get going, and that's okay. But I wanted to do this getting started call for a couple of reasons, because we've had so much growth happening in our team and I love it, but I thought it would be excellent for us to have refreshers for those of us that have been in it for a little while, and for those of you guys that are new, like, what is the system and what do we do and how do we do it and all of those amazing things. So just as a reminder for those who don't know me yet well, but I'm Heather Labonte and I'm your Regional Vice President. I'm an Executive Regional Vice President, and what that means is that I've helped somebody else to achieve that same title. That's what executive means when you hear somebody else say they're an executive district manager, executive area manager, yada, yada, yada. I have been in the Arbonne business for, gosh, we're approaching 8 years. So we'll say 7.5 years that I've actually been working in the business, which is exciting. So what I'm going to do tonight is called a Getting Started. And like I said, it's step one, back to basics. What do we do? Some of this you may have heard or not. So it's just to make sure we're all on the same page and following the same recipe, because really our business is a very specific recipe. You can add a few spices of your own so that you get your flavor of it, but it's just a recipe. And I love that we have the system or the recipe that's out there for us to use. And many times we'll hear people may, use one ingredient or 2 ingredients and maybe not all 5 ingredients, and you don't have the same result when you're not following all of the steps. Does that make sense to you guys? So what is really awesome for you guys now to know and to go out and to be empowered with is knowing that we are part of a brand new nation. So we're the number one, the number one nation in Connecticut. And it doesn't mean that our team is all in Connecticut. Obviously, I know everyone on our call tonight is not located in Connecticut, but that's where our team stems. And what's even more exciting is we're about to birth another nation. Our team is right on the verge of that too. So when you're out there talking to people about being a part of your team and your business, you can have that that pride and also that ammunition to say, you guys need to look at this with me, because we just are the number one team in our region, and we're about to birth another person to the tippity top level. So feel good and feel excited about that. What we're going to go over together is, like I said, it's officially called our Getting Started. And hopefully you may have seen a checklist before, but we have a checklist of what you need to do to be a success in this business. And I love that it's very simple. What we do is very simple. And I think most of you who are tuning in live right now have done our clean eating or the 30 days to healthy living program. And it's very much the same. You follow a recipe, you follow the system. Same thing with our business. Couple things that are, there's the document that I'm referring to. I'm going to make sure you guys know where this is. It's posted on our nation page. But the main thing that we do in our business to grow our businesses to the full potential that it can grow to is very simple. And that is sharing the full Arbonne story with 30 to 40 people in a month. That is the main thing. And I think sometimes that, you know, in my years of experience, what I've witnessed is that people can get distracted or lose focus on what is the main thing that I need to do to receive an income. And while there are things that are important, there are only a couple of things that are considered. Hi, who just tuned in. There are only a couple of things that are considered income producing activity. So you might hear that term IPA, or income producing activity. Income producing activity only comes as a result of you presenting the product and the business to a person. Okay, it doesn't come from thinking about Arbonne or planning what you're going to do with Arbonne or putting up a post about Arbonne or even texting someone about Arbonne. The only income producing activities really are you are presenting the full picture to someone. So just what has been a great tip that I was told is in your calendar, highlight the things that you are doing that are income producing in green. And the other things like your planning or your to-do list or you're putting samples together, for example, in another color, maybe yellow. And it's very eye-opening when you think, because I'll hear a lot, well, I'm spending all this time in doing X, Y, and Z, but the money, the income producing activity is really where your results are going to come. Does that make sense to you guys? You can just give me head nods if that makes sense to you guys. Okay, perfect. So when we talk about our goal is presenting to 30 and 40 people per month, you can definitely use a document that we have. It's called the 40 Faces document. And it's just a sheet of paper that has lots of smiley faces. And all you're going to do is one by one check people off of that each month. And when you get to 40, then that's great. Then you've accomplished that goal. But I like that it's a way to keep us in check throughout your month. It's a great target for you guys. The way that we're going to do this, there's a number of ways, okay? The most popular that you'll hear a lot about are group presentations or an event or a healthy happy hour or a class, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter, but it just means that you're doing a presentation in front of more than one person. It's called a group event. The reason that we really suggest doing those as much as you can is because it's more time efficient. And so many people are always saying, I don't have a lot of time. Well, that's great. Then just gather 5 people at once and do it once instead of having to do it individually. And in our team, we're going to teach you all of the different methods. And personally, I don't feel like you need to do group presentations and one-on-ones and so on and so forth. As long as you're getting in front of the number of people, do what works best in your life. I don't want anyone to feel like they're not successful if they're not having 6 to 8 presentations in a month. Just do it how it works for you. If that means you need to have, 10, 20-minute conversations individually, then do that. Or if you can get them in a group, then do that. Just do what works best for you. It's just important to get in front of the people. Does that make sense to you guys? Perfect. Back when I started, which was 2010, we were mostly doing in-person group presentations. And I don't even think we were doing things on Facebook. We didn't even have team pages and things like that now that we do have. So lucky for you guys that we have tools to leverage your time. So group presentations, but you can also do one-on-one. And what I like about the technology that we have now is you can meet in person, but you can do exactly like we're doing on Zoom. So you can text somebody and ask them to have a 20-minute conversation. and nobody even has to leave home anymore. It's really great and it's really powerful. So you're still getting the face time and accomplishing the same task, but nobody has to go anywhere, which is wonderful. Okay, just flipping over here. Hopefully everyone has had a business launch, and I know some of you are brand new and some of you are restarting. So regardless if you're brand new or you're restarting, have a launch or a relaunch, okay? And that just means that you're going to gather people together and do the presentation. Our presentations are generally one of two kinds. One is the is Arbonne for you, which is the business, and one is more about the products. You're always adding a little bit of both to each one, but there's just heavier business versus heavier products. Does that make sense to you guys? And we have, even within the product presentations, we have two versions. One's more focused on the healthy living and one's more focused on the skincare, but we're always touching on each of those. So it's super, super important to, when you're starting, to really make it a big deal, because it is a big deal. You have jumped into a business and it has the potential to go wherever you want. And especially, you know, it's important to know what your goals are, but it's especially important to know that whatever goal you want, like if you want to quit your day job and just have that flexibility in your life and let Arbonne fuel your dreams, you can do that. Or if you just want an extra $1,000 to pay your bills, it can be that too. So please remember to keep in the forefront what's important to you and what do you want. All right, so let's talk about some basics. You probably have heard or are going to hear about something called the 30 and 30. That is a great training and system. Excuse me, one of my kids just walked in. I got to close the door. This just goes to show you how you can fit it into your life, right? That was having everybody set up to do their showers while mommy did a 30-minute call. All right, so 30 and 30 is an incredible tool that we should all be using every single month. And you can look on our team Facebook page. You can just look in the search 30 and 30, or there's a document that is called Prospecting with a Purpose. The premise behind 30 and 30, and there's a system to it, just like everything else. Your goal is to get 30 people to listen to a 20-minute presentation of Arbonne. And what we use is this flyer called Is Arbonne for You. And this is all explained on our team page. So what we always suggest people to do when you're new, and I think we should do this basically every month, every single one of us should do this. Let's say tonight, you're going to text out as many people as you can. The magic formula is 100, but don't let that like overwhelm you. Text out as many people as you can in a 24-hour period of time. So let's say tonight from 8 o'clock until whatever, till midday tomorrow, you're texting out the message, which is going to be on our page. The goal is just to have somebody say, yes, I will listen to, what you're doing. That's it. And the verbiage is very specific. It's out there. Put your one little flavor on it, but just get it sent out. And when you have the people say yes, then we're going to do a 20-minute presentation, or a Discover Arbonne is what you'll also hear. But all that is us showing the Is Arbonne for You flyer, which is on our page. And it's the whole picture of Arbonne. It's what what the business is about, what differentiates us from other companies. And what I love about this particular formula, it guarantees results, because having, let's say, 30 people listen to this, some of them are absolutely going to become your clients. Some of them will absolutely host an event for you, and some of them will join your team. So regardless, just having people listen, it's going to lead you somewhere. Some will say no, and that's okay. But that's really what it comes down to, is doing this over and over again every month. So I love that we're at the beginning of the month, so just start fresh tonight. And I am doing a Discover Arbonne tomorrow night. So I would encourage you guys to, hop on that, text out to get some people to tune in tomorrow night. It's only going to be a half hour. So doing that is going to absolutely skyrocket you into further. And it leads you to meeting more people. So when you're connecting with someone, they're connecting you with other people. That's going to lead you further. Does that make sense to you guys? Awesome. Okay. The way to grow, just show of hands, does anyone want to grow a team? Okay. So the way that your income grows the most is by growing your team. And I have Legos that I stole from my kiddos. And I just this is a visual that has helped me. And you'll hear these tools or references to something called a brick. You guys heard of a brick? Okay. So this is your Arbonne brick. And a brick represents 2,500 in volume. That's just 8 sets. It's so not a big deal. So when you, in the course of your month, generate your brick, and you've successfully shared the business and you have another friend who's doing the same thing, when you combine your brick with their brick, you're reaping the benefits, because you get to count your volume and their volume together, all under one. Would anybody like to promote to district manager this month? Okay, so this is as simple as it can be. And just by stepping it up a little bit, and it, instead of 8 and 8, it's 10 and 10. That's completely achievable. And one of the success models that I think is going to be so important, not I think, I know would be so important for us, is to have a goal each month to sell or sponsor 8 clients plus 2 new business partners that are going to do the same thing. So you, 8 plus 2, business partner 1, 8 plus 2, business partner 2, 8 plus 2. And I have a fun little document that I can post on our page, but 8 plus 2, we can all do 8. Gosh, we really, if I told you I would give you my paycheck, I bet you would go out there and do 10. You would, trust me. That's pretty simple. And this is going to promote you to district manager by the end of this month. Totally achievable. If perchance you wanted to go to area qualification, it's just 1 more person. It's only 4. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you personally have sponsored every person, but when you have, dropping my bricks, when you have 1 person who comes with a friend and they're both doing theirs, it's the same thing. I love that it doesn't mean that you are completely doing all of that. Does that make sense to you guys? So just remember Legos, because that's how achievable and how easy that this can happen. But as you're going out there and you're spreading the word, 8 plus 2, 8 plus 2, 8 plus 2. That's a great goal. And that is how you can every single one of you, promote to district manager right now by the end of this month. Okay. those are the main things that I want you guys to realize are what are going to bring the results to you. There is nothing, I don't want you to be distracted, if that makes sense to you guys. A lot of times, because we are friends with many other consultants, but I want to encourage you guys to keep the main thing the main thing. And the main thing that we need to do is present the whole picture, which will gain your clients and your business partners, and continue to do that. It's just a rinse and repeat. And the more that you do it, the more results you'll have and the more success will come. So just keep adding people into your funnel and sharing and sharing and sharing and sharing. So my job is to make sure you have those tools, as far as how do I present the Is Arbonne for You? How do I text out and invite people? And all the while you're doing the do as far as your products are concerned. Make sense to you guys? Okay. The other thing that I want to make sure that you guys have, and I think most of you do this already, but make sure you have Arbonne products in your arsenal. And I think many of us are very, very involved in the clean eating program. And I know we're all following that and living that, and that is awesome. But don't forget about the other 50% of our business, which is skincare. What's super exciting right now, so if you don't have your RE9 set, get your RE9 set. But the other super exciting thing is, straight off of GTC, we were given this new toolbox called RE9 Prep Work. And it is a whole new skincare line for the people that were missing, those 18 to 30-year-olds. And they are going bonkers over this. So having a set of that to get out into the hands of that age group, believe me, they are going to fall in love with it. But adding that to your arsenal. Another way that you can work your business is by having those full-size products to lend out and to have people, touching, feeling, and falling. We all know that we fall in love with our products. So we're like a lending library, or you can say they're your employees, but getting them out there to people and having a follow-up conversation with them, which could be your 20-minute Is Arbonne for You. We're always using that flyer, is going to yield some result. Okay? And I really just am doing my best. I don't want you guys to be distracted by so many other things. Get good at having your I story. If you don't know what that means, it's your 2-minute commercial, if you will. I hate that word commercial, but it's, why did you get into Arbonne? What successes have you seen from either your sponsor or someone in your success line? And you can always use me, not because you know me, but because I'm your vice president and you guys can see the proven success. But also where you're going with Arbonne. People need to know, why are you doing this business and what are you going to do with this? So when people can relate to you, it's helpful as well. Okay. So I think one of the other things that's really important, whether you're new or you've been in this for a while, is to stay connected, not only to our team, but to the Arbonne community. Things in this business, if you've not been in this for a while, you kind of need armor in your head because you're for sure going to hear people, say you're crazy, or why are you doing this? Or probably the most hurtful thing is someone that you love is going to either dismiss you or say no to you as far as your business or your products go. It's just a fact of life. Not everybody gets what we do, and it's going to happen. So I want to be open and honest and truthful with you guys to tell you that it's going to happen. My own sister still to this day does not use any products, and that's okay, because she's not paying my bills. But leaning on your Arbonne family and staying connected to us is how you're going to refuel yourself as far as keeping your mind strong and your belief high. It's our job to pour into each other. Just like, at night you have to plug in your phone, or if you're like me and yours completely died recently, I couldn't do anything because my phone was dead. And in our businesses, when you send out a text message and nobody answers, it drains your battery. And when your best friend doesn't answer your call, it drains your battery. Or, when a party cancels, it drains your battery. So like every night you have to plug in your phone, you have to plug in yourself to our team and our team meetings so that we can refuel you. That's just, it's something that we've all experienced, and I want you guys to know we're kind of like church. We're your business and your soul church to lift each other up. So just be aware of that and stay connected. Something you could do to fill yourself each day is to go on the success.arbonne.com website. Those are success stories from thousands of vice presidents. Read one every day. It'll take you, 5 minutes to read? But you're going to find people like you, but you're also going to find people like your friends and your clients. So it's going to give you a little bit of something to make sure that you're feeling good and that you can see the evidence all around you. Okay? And I think the last thing that I want to encourage you guys is have your goals written down. So know what is it that you would like to accomplish this month, whether it's earning your promotion to district manager or getting in qualification for X, Y, and Z. Know what your goal is and write it down, because a goal that is written down is statistically proven to come true more. When you don't have a goal written down, it pretty much doesn't ever come true. So write it down and have a stretch goal as well. So let's say your minimum goal is, no matter what, I'm going to complete my brick. I'm going to get my 2,500. That's my minimum goal. My great goal is that I'm going to have another person join me and teach them how to do their brick. And my ultimate goal is we're both going to, amp that up, or however you play it out, but I'm going to hit district manager with over 6,000 this month. So have 3 levels and shoot for the highest one, because what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to at least get your brick. So shoot really high, and then that way you're going to reach something. Makes sense to you guys? Okay. And I think the last thing that I want to do, because I wanted to try to keep this to a half hour, is to just remind you guys that it is completely achievable to do absolutely anything. We have people that are joining our team right now that are doing things like having 5 people join their team in the first week, or achieve 10,000 in sales in 2 days' time. So whatever you think is possible and believe is absolutely possible. And I want you guys to realize that there is absolutely no limit. The only limit is what we kind of feel in our brain, and just going for it and going bigger, things are going to happen. And I could easily tell you lots of stories about that because I've experienced it myself. But just, I encourage you guys to really, really go as big and as high as you possibly can go. And know that our team, our humble region, is on the verge of something huge. And you guys are a part of the history in the making. So I want you to feel excited when you go out and tell people. This is bigger than just one person and what is coming from one client. We are on the verge of something huge. So just know that, and you can feel so confident talking to people because our company is the #1 health and wellness inside out company in all of network marketing and direct sales. Nobody can touch us. And you need to know that and feel that and lift yourself up every day when you're going out there to talk to people about that. So I love you guys, and I want you guys to be as successful as you want to be. I want you to be more successful than what I've received, because I'm just paving the way so that I can get out of the way and let you guys come and take over.